This episode is brought to you by the Catalyst Academy, my year-long incubator for women of color who want to grow their thought leadership through public speaking. Are you ready to join us? Go to bit.ly/the Catalyst Academy to apply. Now let's get into the episode. Welcome to Oversharing with Rhonda, a podcast to amplify the voices of trailblazing women. My name is Rhonda Khan, and I believe in the power of authenticity, vulnerability, and storytelling to connect the masses. As a public speaking coach, speech therapist, performer, mom, and chronic oversharer, I'm often empowering others to own their stories. And what I've found is that the most transformative change happens when we share our journeys while being unapologetically ourselves. Remember a few episodes ago when I was talking about my self-care or lack thereof? Well, I've been working on some things and I'm still not doing the best job. But one of the things I did decide to invest in was my personal style. In my job as a public speaking coach, I help women show up boldly and be authentic and express who they are with words. But I realized that in my appearance, I was not expressing myself boldly and authentically. I didn't dress poorly. I did not care. I put a little makeup on. I put myself together best I could. But to be honest, the way I had been putting myself together every day did not reflect the person I was or who I was growing to be. The fact is, I did not think I deserved to buy things for myself or do anything for myself. I'd pick a solid color shirt and I wear it. I'd throw some earrings that I could find, but I didn't put a lot of effort in. And I told myself things like, hey, it really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. I just got so much going on. As long as I look presentable, I'm good. These clothes don't matter. I have so many things to think about and do. But the reality is, what you wear is connected to how you feel about yourself. And how you feel does have an impact on how you express yourself and show up. It doesn't have to be what other people think you should look like or what the standards are. It's all about how you are showing up for yourself and how you're valuing yourself. So, I invested in my style coach, Naana Badu. My work with Naana has not only started to transform my wardrobe, but most importantly, it's reminded me that I need to value myself and I have to pour into myself. It's shifted my mindset and expanded the possibility of what I can be. Now I look forward to getting dressed up. And even if it's the only 30 minutes of the day that I have to myself and express myself creatively, it's something I get excited about. It's something that I look forward to. Now, I got to be honest with y'all. I dealt with a lot of mind trash before I made this investment, and I didn't share with a lot of people. I thought it would seem frivolous and braggy and who she thinks she is. And oh, look at you, what you did. You know how you do. But the truth is, I didn't believe I deserved to invest in myself. What I did with Naana was not only about style, but it showed me that I am worthy of it and it's important to my work. Now, I'm big with expressing myself through words, but I realized that words are not the only way to express ourselves. And I knew that already. Words are not the only way that I can show up and lead, and having a style coach showed me how. Naana Badu is a style coach and speaker for women of color who want to magnify their magic by tapping into their bold, authentic style. As the founder and CEO of Badu Basics, a style and image consulting firm, Naana teaches women how to ditch the plain Jane vibes and become a powerhouse boss. Naana Badu, welcome to Oversharing with Rhonda.
What's up? I'm so excited. I'm ready. I'm so excited.
I love it. So y'all, I have to tell you, what Nana got on right now. She has a multicolored headband, okay? She has this African print shirt. It's up to the neck, but we got some orange, we got all the colors, we got a nice print, we got a popping lip, we got some earrings that are saying something, we got a necklace. It is a look, and y'all ain't even gonna see her on this. So, Nana, I want to know from you, what has been your personal style journey? Were you always this stylish?
Girl, of course not. You know, I evolved like we all do. I grew up, I have two older brothers. I grew up as a tomboy. And so my happy place, and still my happy place, to many people's surprise, is a good pair of sweatpants and a tank top. Like, that is still my comfort, happy place when I'm at home chilling, because I still am a tomboy in many ways. But yeah, growing up, you know, mama dressed us, getting ready for Easter Sundays, and had the coordinated outfits and some patent leather shoes and, you know, lace on the ruffles and all of that, you know, like mama was into it. My mom was and is a very stylish woman. And so there's no surprise, especially to family, when they see me, they be like, yeah, you Afia's daughter. Yes, you are. But definitely, I think around middle school, I started to feel like I was dressing and doing things a little different from everybody else. And I think I always kind of maintained that there was something about the status quo or how everybody's showing up that I always was like, no, I ain't doing it like that. That's so predictable. No, like yeah. Y'all Old Navy came, or y'all shopping at Old Navy. I ain't going to Old Navy. No. No.
Where does that come from? That wanting to be against the status quo or to be so individual?
That's a great question. Really, honestly, so much of, I think, who I am has evolved from my parents and that upbringing. My parents are from Ghana in West Africa. You know, they immigrated to the US in the early 70s. And, you know, they had the same, you know, quote unquote American dream, right? To come to this country, and they raised 3 children and sent them to college, all of those things. And growing up, I think I naturally, because of the fact that I had African parents, there was always a slight difference between myself and my American friends, be they Black, white, or anything in between, right? There was always a little bit of a difference. And then especially with the culture, you know, the dynamicism of the culture was like, wait a minute. It wasn't always that. I didn't always see it as a place of individualism that I celebrated. At first I saw it as like, hey, I'm sticking out. Like, yo, my lunch, I got jollof rice, and everybody else got these ham and cheese sandwiches. And I'm like, Ma, can you make me a ham and cheese sandwich? And she's like, listen, what we have leftovers last night was going in this lunchbox. But yeah, I would lean in on the family on that tip.
Yeah. Well, I know that you currently are a style coach, and I know that wasn't always the situation. From what I hear, you are a corporate management consultant turned stylish and image consultant. Come on, consultant. Yeah. So how did that journey come to be?
I know, it's amazing. So when I graduated from college and I entered the workforce, my first job was in the management consulting space. So I was down in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I was like, listen, I'm a Black woman working for a major Fortune 100 company. I'm about to show up. You know, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, that was my moment where I was finally like, yes, I've always imagined myself as this powerful executive boss woman, right? Mm-hmm. I knew who she was. Mm. And so entering into those spaces, I was consulting for predominantly government agencies. So DOD, DOJ, DOE, or all the Ds. And I'm moving out all of these rooms. And, there's a lot of white spaces, a lot of white male spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And, here I am entering in as Naana Badu. The name on the resume is not Sally Smith. It is Naana Badu. Ask me how to say it and pronounce it, because I will let you know. Don't mess it up. And, so you already have an image in your mind when you see my name. And so for me, I was like, this is a big name. I got to show up for my name and who I am, right? And I think just coming into that corporate space, there was definitely a moment where I was like, well, listen, everybody else is, a little less melanated, and I'm naturally sticking out, but then also who I am, like my energy, like my communication style, like I'm people oriented, like I'm gonna get you involved, I'm gonna get you engaged, like I want to hear from you. And I just brought that to the table. And that's like, I was like, listen, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna be me. And as I realized that was my strength, that was my superpower. And for some time in there, I was like, it could have went one way or another, right? Because we get challenged so much, especially as Black women walking into these corporate spaces. You are assessed from head to toe, and you have so many decisions to make. Like, am I going to assimilate? Am I going to start changing my voice? Am I going to tone myself down? Can I no longer, keep my hair natural? Did I get a perm? It's like all of the components of who you are, especially your appearance, are put front and center, huge spotlight. And so for me, I just made that choice, and I said, nah, listen, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be me. And in doing so, I got the accolades and I got the recognition, and people said, oh yes, we're gonna call on Naana specifically for her color, for her candor, for her energetic spirit. And so I just continue to keep that at the forefront.
Yes, that's so powerful, Naana, because I imagine what would have happened if you did not lean into who you really were? What would have been that story? And we often talk about how we're in the same work, because this is exactly what I talk about when I do my work with speaking and communication and how you show up, where a lot of times we feel like we're supposed to shrink or dim or dilute parts of ourselves.
Yes.
And it never serves us. It never serves us. And I know that is programming that has been put in, and it takes some work to dismantle this programming. And what you did, you were in the government. In the government. Right. And you were like, what? And I can only imagine what Naana at that time was doing. You're like, no, I'm going to wear the pink suit, and I'm going to wear the natural hair, and I'm going to pop this lip, and I'm going to have all of these bangles. And I know that's how you came through. And what they did, they didn't say like, ooh, she too much. They were like, yes, because this makes sense for Naana, because she's Naana Badu. Like, I don't expect to see anything different. Yep. And I think that's an important lesson for everybody to understand, is that people actually are not expecting you to show up a different thing. They're not looking for that representative. Yeah. And that's exactly what you learned. Yeah. Wow. So your website, very, very much, I love this part. You're saying that style is not about fashion. It's about you. Yeah. Tell me more about what that means.
So style is a full expression of who you are. And it is really fully connected to your growth as an individual. So for me, as you grow both personally and as you should, hopefully you are doing the inner work that's required, the mindset work that's required, all of the things that are required of you to grow to the place and become the individual that you've been set on this earth to be. When you do that work and you align it with your professional work within your career, your talents, your skill sets, all of that, those are all areas of growth. And so if you're doing all of those things to achieve a certain goal, especially for the women that I work with, they're very career and business minded individuals. They have a 3-year plan, and women, they're like, listen, I have goals. And I'm like, let's get them. So as you think about that, you can't leave yourself out of it. You can't prioritize that and then say, well, I'm about to just throw on any old thing. You can't spend hours knowing I have an amazing presentation for this board, or I have a huge pitch happening, for a 5K investment for my business, and do all the legwork and the research and the conversations and pull it together and be like, this is magnificent. And then 24 hours before, you're like, what am I going to wear? Well, I'm going to just wear the same old thing. Like, you are doing yourself a disservice because you have 7 seconds to make an impression. So when somebody sees you, 7 seconds, they scan you from head to toe. We've all had the experience where you walk in a room and somebody goes, and they look you up and down. No words have been exchanged, nothing, but you have that window to make a mark. And that's where your style comes into play and has the ability to, in many cases, make or break amazing opportunities, because people want to see cohesiveness. When I see your work or I see you, it should be in alignment. I don't want to see this disjointedness. I don't want to be looking at your work and say, this person has an amazing track record. They are intelligent. They are, decisive. They are driven. They're complete, whole, etc. But, when they show up, they're a little bland, they're a little understated, they're a little messy. They're not as cohesive. That's a disconnect. And people, we'd be like, wait, hold on. Record skip. What's happening here? And so for yourself, your style, you really need to come back to a place of really getting clear on who you are, what your goals are, and how you envision yourself for the future. And then you can begin to put together a strategy and a plan around how you can move from where you currently are to embodying that future self.
Yeah, it's so important. It's so important. We've had these conversations, and I have known from working with you how it has transformed me as I grow. You're like, look, Rhonda, you about to do this. Your clothes need to be here. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. But it is very true. So y'all, let me tell you about my outfit today, because I came ready.
Tell us.
So I have on a maxi leather pleated skirt. I'm going to take a picture. They're going to have to see it. I have on this shirt, all done by Naana Badu. I have on this shirt. It's puffy with the shoulders, but we got a little cutout around the neck. I got some earrings with some print. And as a podcast treat, I put on my new frames, not real vision frames, because y'all know I can't see. I got contacts up under these. But they are print. And I feel like I am all of Oprah right now. Like, you can't tell me I'm not. You can't tell me that this interview is not for NPR. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me. And it's just a matter of like, sometimes the inside stuff so matters. It so matters. It's so important to do the inner work. But you have to also top down too. It's not just bottom up, it's top down. And that definitely leads me to this conversation about, I know you may have encountered this in your work. And I know that, listen, I'm surrounded by woke Black women and woke women of color. Like, all my social media, everybody is just, and there is a narrative about how maybe this stuff is not as important, or this stuff may be, I don't know, subjective or shallow. And I know that that's not true. But what would you say to those people who feel like, oh, my intellect is the more important, my mission is more important, the work is more important, and what I'm doing versus how I look and show up?
I would say that your appearance has power just as much as your work and your talents and your mind has power, right? We can easily put less of an emphasis on the words that we speak to ourselves, right? But we know that words have power. And if you say things slowly over time, like, my body just wasn't what it used to be. I'm too short. But man, I had a child and the girls just keep on sagging. Oh, my skin isn't what it was, right? You say all of these things in your mind, subconsciously, consciously, little small quirks, that become habits. that just breed some negative self-defeating comments that you tell yourself, especially about your body and especially as women. And so I think that it's just as significant for you to recognize that and recognize the impact that it has on your ability to fully show up. Because I don't care how smart you are and how long the accolades are, my dear, when someone has an inner glow and an inner confidence and has clarity about who they are and what they are showing up to do in this world, that's what radiates. Then they're just very clear about themselves. So they're like, listen, I know how I want to show up today. I know the colors that I'm going to choose that are going to enhance my skin, that are going to communicate and land the messages that I want for this particular audience. I know if I'm feeling relaxed today, how to still do that in a very polished and chic manner. I know what it's like when I need to be on front center stage and be given a presentation and really need to put my superhero cape on, however that looks like. Because come on, red top, epaulette shoulder, cut out. Rhonda giving us super women vibes right now. Y'all going to see this serve. But that's what happens. And so your appearance, your clothing, your style is a source of power, and you need to channel it.
Yeah. That's so important. I'm thinking about investing in yourself right now, because to say that you have a style coach, and by the way, I tell everybody when they see me, like they seen a little shift in me. You know, I did not know how to dress before I came to you. Like I could put a couple, 2 things together. But when I started to come out, if you will, and started to wear some of the pieces that you picked and like fully take all of your lessons, I've gotten some, okay, girl, and look at you, girl. And I'm just like, well, my styles, right? But there's a little bit of me, if I'm being honest, and you know I love you and you know I amplify you all that I can, of like, do people think that I'm just like, where, you know, that I'm doing the most, or who am I? And I know that comes up, and it's, while this is what I say, while intellectually I know that it's important to invest in myself, there's still a narrative of like, you shouldn't be showy, or you shouldn't do this thing for yourself. And I am a mom, and I have a 4.5-year-old, and I'm running a full business on pandemic schedule. And as it rapidly grows, I'm often not finding space to pour into myself. And the work I did with you was like the only thing at one point of like calling Naana or like picking out an outfit. And I'll tell you, just yesterday, I was so stressed out because I'm launching this program. I'm doing 50 things, wearing all the hats. And one of the ads for one of the companies that we ordered something popped up. And I was like, wait a minute, this sweatshirt cute. Let me put this in my cart. And this is something that before I would have been like, girl, you don't need a sweatshirt. You need to invest in your business. You need to have a business, work, family, blah, blah, blah. And like focus. Because if you do, you're self-indulgent. And so I know what it's done for me, but what do you say to the people who think that investing in these types of things, different types of coaches for your professional development, is self-indulgent or not a priority?
I would say you part of the stagnation crew. You about to be stagnant in life. That's what I say to you. Boom. Bow. I literally say to you, that's a story you've told yourself. That is a narrative that you have written and have chosen to believe that that's true. There are insecurities. There's other things at play here that is making you feel comfortable to say, well, I don't need that because I'm great in all these other places. When really probably what's happening is you recognize that that is an area that you'd like to improve upon, right? That is that style, the way that you dress, that there are areas that maybe you're not so knowledgeable and confident about. But you might be afraid to admit that. And especially too, when you admit it, then that says, well, I care. Well, I'm not supposed to care about that because that don't align with my value set, right? Like, that's not part of my value set. I don't value that because that's superficial, etc. But the fact of the matter is, we all need to feel good about ourselves. You need to cultivate your confidence. That is necessary in this life. Like, you have to do things that are going to cultivate your confidence. And that could be self-care and all of its many facets, right? But, you know, for my women out there, like you said, Rhonda, you over here, girl, you a super woman. You are,
Girl, stop.
Girl, like entrepreneur, coach, launching programs, actively working to expand your brand, being a mom, you know, being a wife, like, we doing all the things. And so when you take the time in the morning and you say, I do have the time to invest in myself. I do have the time today to wear something that's going to make me feel good. I'm going to put something on today that's going to support the energy of what I intend to accomplish today, right? When you set that intention for yourself, that's a shift. That's a shift from a place of lack of, I don't have enough time. I'm not supposed to value this. Like, this is superficial. That's all negative talk. That's all place of lack. We don't live over there. We live in abundance zone. So listen.
We don't live over there.
We don't live over there. We live with the women who want to rise to the top in all of their glory and uncover the beauty and the phenomenal nature you have in all of these different ways. So put on the red lipstick, throw the head wrap on, wear the bold color, like, step out. Who you waiting for? Who you waiting for to do it? Like, this is your life. You only get one of them. So I don't know why you're trying to be shy and hide behind the rock or blend in with everybody else. Like, this ain't no assembly line. No, you're not like everybody else. So why would you want to dress like everybody else? Boring. What we doing? No. What we doing? Be bold. Step forward. Claim it. Recognize where you need to make those shifts and start to make the changes. But I think for me, it all starts with that intentionality. Like, set that intention for yourself at the top of the day about how you want to feel during that day. If you want to feel empowered, if you want to feel relaxed, if you want to feel calm, wear clothing, wear colors that are going to embrace that. Throw on a little green if you want to have a little bit of a mellow, relaxed vibe for yourself for the day, right? If you want to get some energy and get some pep in your step, throw on the red, throw on the orange, right? Lean into some print. They all have an impact on yourself, and it is most certainly going to be reflected in the way that people respond to you.
I hope y'all took notes on that, because Naana just gave a whole class. So Naana, hearing this, let's say I am, pick a person, and I feel like I don't know where to start. I want to be stylish. I want to express more me, but where do I start? It feels so overwhelming. I don't like shopping. I don't know what works for me. What are some immediate steps I can take to make some of those changes and be more intentional about how I show up?
First things first, you talked about at the very beginning, style is about you, right? So 1, do a reflection. I want you to write down 3 words that you think describe yourself. 3 words. And you've done this probably in a number of different facets and circles in your life, but pick 3 words that describe you, okay, today. Then I want you to pick 3 words that describe your best self. When you think about yourself and you envision the woman and you're like, yes, that is really who I'm striving to be as often as possible. Write those 3 words down. See where there's similarities, see where there's gaps, but have those as a bit of your North Star, if you will. Then the second thing I want you to do is go into your closet and keep those words pinned up on your closet or have them with you. And as you go through your closet, I want you to just assess. And for the pieces that really speak to you and gravitate you, basically I have this philosophy. You're going to love it, you like it, or you let it go. So if you love it, keep it in your closet. If you like it, take it out. And if you're going to let it go because it doesn't serve you and it doesn't embody those words that you've written down, you would get that trash bag out and make a donation to your nearest church. So that's a second step that you could do is to do an assessment. Third thing I would encourage you to do as well is to just observe. When you go through and assess in your closet, observe trends. Observe the colors you have a lot of in your wardrobe, right? Observe if you have a lot of dresses, the types of garments that you have in your closet that are repetitive. Observe where you might see some gaps where you're like, man, I have no good blazers up in here. Just observe what you have a lot of or a little of in your closet and begin to take down some notes on those things. I think a big piece around style that I think people often do is they immediately jump to buy. They immediately jump to, I need this thing. I saw somebody rocking it on Instagram and I need that. Or, you know what? I just need to get this new piece. Again, that last minute shopper, my last minute girl who's like, well, I got an event. Let me just go buy this from my trusted store. But you fail to reflect, assess, and observe what's happening with you right now. And then the last thing I would encourage you to do is to just think about what you need to shift in terms of your mindset about the way that you see yourself in your body. So take stock of what you love about yourself, right? And write those things down. Like, I love my chest. The girls popping, your legs, your eyes, your skin, whatever it is, like acknowledge the things you love. And then acknowledge the things where you know you be in there talking to yourself like, I'm always talking to myself about how short I am. And I just don't feel too hot about that, right? Or I'm talking about this pregnancy weight that I've gained, write it down and acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. It is okay. But by simply acknowledging it and sometimes putting it down, what you're also able to do is say, but listen, I told myself I'm these 3 fabulous things over here. So what I'm going to do is keep coming back to me being embodying this fabulous woman. Okay. So you just do your best to keep that as your guiding principles or values and take some time to assess where you currently are before you immediately jump to, I need to buy and shop.
Yes. Oh, Naana, this has been so wonderful. I could talk to you all day. I really can. I actually do sometimes, whether it's sending pictures or doing all of those things. But I want people to know where they can find you so they can learn from you, so they can be inspired by you, and so you can come and get them together.
Listen, I value and appreciate you so much. Y'all, come check me out at Badu Basics. BADU, like Miss Erica, and basics just as the standard is in the English dictionary. So at Badu Basics at Instagram and on LinkedIn is where you will find me most often. So for all my corporate ladies and entrepreneurs who I really cater and speak to, my women of color who are, just out there with your 3 and 5 year plans, and you've got this clear career trajectory, and you recognize that there's a gap in your style, and you really want to elevate yourself from feeling a little plain and understated, and you really want to command a bold and confident space. You're my gal, so I'm happy to help you.
Thank you, Naana. Thank you for coming to Oversharing with Rhonda.
Listen, and y'all better go follow at Simply Solutions. Come on, Simply Speech Solutions. Let me talk about it right, because Rhonda Khan is phenomenal. She is out here sharing her story and doing it in a really heartfelt and sincere way. and beautiful every step of the way. So shout out to Rhonda.
Thank you, Naana. Listen, style is important, not to impress folks or to fit in, but to show up as a fully expressed version of who you are. Whether it's a style coach or a public speaking coach, wink, wink, a mindset coach, a financial coach, a life coach, it's so important that you invest in yourself if you want to grow. Like Naana said, ain't nobody with the stagnation crew. Don't be with the stagnation crew. Those people who say, now why would you want to do all that? You deserve to grow and invest in your growth. Make sure you check out Naana's work at Badu Basics and join the waitlist for the Catalyst Academy, where we are all growing together as speakers, leaders, and change makers. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next time. Bye.